I also was involved in a climbing centre startup in Southampton, which was really successful. It wasn't my own centre, so I decided that I wanted to move on and start my own. Which at this point, Sam got involved. I wanted to spend some money, not on a house, but possibly on a risky business, which sounded great. But you've got different backgrounds, haven't you, really?
Yes. So my background's in marine engineering. I've been at sea for the last 10 years and decided I want to come ashore. Again, the choice was buy a house, do a grown-up thing, or try and start a really big indoor climbing centre. So obviously went for the more exciting one. And fortunately managed to rope Sophie into it as well.
Yeah.
And now we've become quite a successful team at building things, and we see how we stay fair at running it. The demographic of the people that lives in Cornwall is all about outdoor sports, having just basically making the most of life.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a climbing centre somewhere in Cornwall that we haven't found yet, because there's no way it kind of existed. It's such a fantastic location for it.
Yeah, there were some smaller ones, but there was nothing to this scale. And to have every other city in the country near enough have a centre like this seemed silly that Cornwall didn't. So it's kind of something we wanted to bring here and give to the community. And they've completely supported us, and they've put their money into it as well, and they've really got involved. They've also helped build some of it, which was great. So we're pretty fortunate, actually, I think.
All our aim was to make Cornwall as good as it could be. Partly selfishly, because we want this, but I think it's only going to make it better.
So we set up a crowdfunder. So basically it's a platform where you can pledge for certain rewards, and we set a target of wanting to raise £15,000, which we thought was quite high. But in the first week we smashed that target, so the community bought and shared it as well with all their friends. They got memberships, they got kids clubs, they bought kids parties, all kinds of things on our crowdfunder. We also had people get in touch with us saying, I'm a carpenter and I'd really like to help you build. What is it you're missing? And we had people get involved that way and really help us out.
On the bigger scale, longer term as well, we're also, as hard in every possible way we can, we're using local, smaller businesses. Our coffee is, you could throw a rock at the place that's roasted it. It's Cornico Coffee. It's 2 minutes away from us. Our cakes are cooked in St Eville, which is just down the road. It's all as locally sourced as we can, because local, smaller businesses helping each other wins every time. I think it's very important that as a new business, we're privately funded, which means we can do what we want. So you can set up really strict values and not have to appease shareholders to be making the money short term. We can think longer term. So all of our centre is renewably sourced in every way it can be. So from our wind turbine all the way down to our toilet paper. We could talk a lot about toilet paper, but all the way up through our business. So we're trying to make the right choice at every turn.
They've been really helpful. We were a bit dubious at first. We didn't know what we were actually eligible for. So we originally went to a networking meeting and sort of spoke to a few coaches there, and they were like, you could get some funding for your crowdfunding video. So we actually got funded half of it got funded for us to provide a really good video, which makes more of a successful project on crowdfunder. So that really helped us. And then a load of coaches got involved with us. So we had a head coach, Lynda, who was really great.
So I've been working with Sam and Sophie over the last 6 months. And in that time, they have been the perfect clients. I don't think I've ever worked with anyone who's moved at such a fast pace. And we've been having regular meetings probably every 2 weeks. And every time they go away and are totally focused, and everything that, all the goals and the objectives that we've talked about, they have achieved, which has been amazing. So to be here today in the Climbing Centre, 6 months on, they have achieved so much.
Having one head coach was fantastic, because then they could organise the logistics of all of it. Again, offer coaching that we didn't know existed, that obviously that's their speciality. Organising that, which was fantastic.
So and I came in from a branding perspective, from a customer experience, user experience perspective, a branding and a marketing perspective, positioning. How are you going to position this? Like, what is it? Is it a cafe? Is it a yoga center? Is it a place where you can hold business meetings, or is it a climbing center? One of the best climbing centers in Cornwall, and that's so we worked on that, and it's been absolutely brilliant. Sam and Sophie have been perfect client in the same respect, because their self-awareness is phenomenal. They're not the type to act in ways if they have all the answers. They're fully aware that they don't have all the answers. They got some really good answers in some really good areas, but that level of self-awareness, where you need to upskill. So they got, they whenever they could make use of the coaches, they did.
Ernie, he was our marketing specialist, I'd say. He was full of energy. We didn't give him any coffee, and he just sort of flew straight into our project and was totally excited about it, validated everything that we were kind of thinking about, or how we wanted our brand to go, and then thought outside the box and said pinpointed on certain areas and where we should look. So
you've really helped develop the brand, and really encouraged us to develop a brand rather than just sticking a name on a building.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is a bit more traditional way to do it, and we needed the step forward to getting online, getting up to date with how things in the modern marketing world are done.
I helped Sophie and Sam with some strategic planning, working out particularly where they wanted to take the business, and then also how to, once they've worked out where they want to take the business, as to how they get there.
Andrew, he was great. Even though Sam was a little bit anxious about the meetings because it meant that we were going to go home with lots of homework, he sat us down and actually worked through what strategies we should be putting in place and what we should be thinking about. What was really great is we gave him loads of information that we just spoke at him, and he formalised it and put it into a very well-worded document that we were like, that is what we meant.